Welcome to Durga's Tiger Tantra podcast. My name is Disse. We are sitting here in Ecuador in our school in this moment. We share teachings of Tantra, yoga, arts and shamanism so that you can get a taste of it and how all this teaching dance together. We created this podcast and we really hope enjoy it. Aho. Yeah. Welcome to Durga's Tiger Tantra podcast. So today I would like to speak about how to create an adventurous peace with your beloved. Okay, an adventurous peace. So why I focus on this word of adventure. So I got a phone call from my partner, who in this moment is in Switzerland. I am sitting here in Ecuador, on this holy volcano mountain Ilalo, where our school is. And he told me, you know what, that we are fighting pretty hard from time to time. I think it's a good sign. I said, don't tell me how a good sign that we are fighting. And he said, you know, I just read in statistic, and they say people who are never fighting, couples who are not fighting, are very more often divorced than people who are fighting with each other. I say, Okay. So that created for me a thinking, what is happening when we are fighting and what is happening, how we can create peace, not avoiding conflict, but changing something from inside that still everything can be felt, but we don't identify in a way that we identify with the fight. Because maybe never having quarrel is seemingly also not so good for a close relation where everything the other does or tells you really goes right to the heart, right to the inside, no? And you cannot say, let him talk what he wants, I don't care. Pretty difficult with the one you love. Okay, so the first thing I came across when I thinking about that, what Buddha is saying, okay, life is sorrow. I'm not totally agreeing with it, but okay. Second part is, and it is sorrow because we are attached, because of attachment. We are attached not only on our car or our house or our job, we are also attached things we are convinced about, things we think that is my reality or that is my sacred truth. And so these sort of attachments are really creating very often sorrow, fear that we could lose it, that it's not there. Attached also nowadays of an image of future, of worries, that we are worried all the time. If we really channel into the noticias, the news we are getting here in this moment every day, it's a creation of fear about future. No? So we get attached to that also. We start to be convinced future will be dangerous, horrible, the climate will just break down, no jobs, new illnesses, new I don't know what. There are many things at this moment which they tell us to be afraid about. So being attached to that also creates, not really, it's not a good start of living a life in the here and now, where very often if we look very close to ourselves, life could still be okay or is still okay. No. So that is the first thing, just to analyze where are my attachments, where I'm really attached. What is convictions, for example, with my beloved, when he steps onto that, I really just explode because I feel if somebody is thinking like this or that, can be about politics, about love, about men and women, no, then I cannot stay with this person because that is against my core belief system. So, okay, how can I get rid of attachments which are really creating a sort of freedom in my life? So there is a very beautiful story which can tell us more about how we attach. And there is a camel leader going with the caravan through the desert. His son is there, and they're having a lot of goods. And if night comes, they're just stopping just to light the fires and make the night break, prepare. Then the son comes a little bit excited to his father and says, for the last camel, we lost the ties, so what can I do? And then the very experienced camel leader said, you know what? Camels are a little stupid. You just do as if you tie it, make all the movements, act it out, and you will see it will not run away. So the son did that, and yes, at the next morning, the camel was still there. After a while, he came running to his father again and said, okay, now I made ready everything to leave, but the camel we tied yesterday just with imagination doesn't want to leave. It's the only one, it doesn't move. And then his father says, yes, you didn't untie it. And the son said, but I didn't tie it. Yes, but for the camel, yes, you tied it. He believed that it is tied. So what is tying us down? So what is it what is tying us down? And very often that are belief systems we learned already very early. We have the right to get upset. We should get upset if somebody lies to us. We should get upset if things get stolen. We should get upset if there's a catastrophe. We should get upset if we see somebody really poor, not having something to eat, and people just walking by. So, yeah, we have a lot of reasons every day to get upset. So the thing is, how can I change things without being upset? Because what we also learned is, yes, we are upset, but very often we don't change the things. We are tied. It is being upset about something is already enough, and we don't have to create action anymore. So go back to our beloved. So I'm with my partner together now, 35 years, quite some time. And there are still themes where I do get freaking upset and really angry with him. So angry that every time I really think, should I now separate from him? Because I cannot live with the feeling that you are believing this or that. It's too much for me. Until now, I always came to the conclusion that I got very upset, but then being upset, we are still together. So, last time, not a long time ago, I decided that's finished. So let's really see how I get out of this circle. No? So the next thing, and then I found this, that inside of me, I felt that if somebody loves me, and I love somebody, he has the right to upset me because I love him. So I allow him to really energetically grab into myself and touch special points where I feel that is a no-go and I can be upset about it. That is what I learned as a reaction, no? And again, until now, it never changed. So the next step I'm thinking now is, it's a stupid wheel, because if he tells me something what upsets me because it goes against my main values, so why do I hurt myself? I punish myself, getting angry, upset, furious, going out, having the whole night where I cannot sleep. Why do I allow my partner to hook so much in? No, why I cannot say, okay, you believe this, I believe that, here we are. So now it comes that this upset, I know also already, is an old story, because it's where I really get high if he is talking in a way I cannot accept about women. So, and that I know already from my father, and this, that all women are stupid, only mine not, he said, so, but all women are stupid, that I know already from my father. So if David goes in some of this context, I go. Because the trigger is not only the time now, the trigger is a double trigger already, no? Like David also coming from a pretty patriarchal family, so for him it was a long way, this which we went together of love and freedom. How can we be together as lovers, where love is in the center and not the old roles? But during this process, yes, we hurt each other, but not only one the other, we each other got hurt, because it was very often against what we had learned about love and being together, structure, family. So what makes me again and again reacting? So the next thing is, what makes us reacting are old patterns. No, it's old patterns. And what are old patterns? Old patterns is what society teaches us to think. It's programming. We, as humans, every human is programmed from baby on. Like we are born as humans, even not like a little horse, which after I don't know how long already directly can walk and get milk. We cannot even hold the head, Maybe when we are born, and then our brain develops all the time together with the social programming. So the programs, even if we understand what's happening, the programs are still alive and they act out. So knowing that can help us not to be angry with ourselves then, what I also know. Hi, again, I fell into the trap. You are just so stupid, not telling myself. So stop that also, because that's another way to punish yourself. First you're angry with your partner, then you're angry with yourself. And no, you don't have to be angry with yourself. I don't have to be angry with myself. What it is, it's a programming which is making me react, no? And okay, so how can we step out of the programming? And it sounds very easy, and there are two paths, no? One is that we really activate a mind discipline, mind control, where we say if it starts to happen, step out before I go in, because to create an awareness when it starts, and then go out before you jump. You are still didn't enter the autobahn, the autopista of this pattern. No, you still, you have a millisecond before you enter. And you start to be sensible for this point, jump away. The more you practice this, the less times you have to enter. The second thing is when you entered, then also go away even in this moment you would like, you are ready to fight, step out and then just really sit somewhere and meditate. And meditate can be sitting under a tree, but can sitting in my sofa, but just don't move a time and breathe through it. And breathe and look at your anger and feel the anger. Allow yourself to feel the anger. Don't identify with the anger. Because what is tying us? This, what I feel in this moment is tying me. So I get conscious about it. Hey, okay, I understand what is happening, and understanding what is happening, little by little, takes the power out of this pattern. No, so that it gets weaker and weaker until it can leave me. So this is the two things. One is not to do anything, just to understand what is happening. I'm programmed to react that way. And the second thing, everything changes, even the biggest anger, where I think I can explode with anger, it will change, and it will change, and I don't have to suppress it. It's very important when I just sit and wait and meditate and breathe and feel it, to allow myself to feel it. Then it will also just vanish. So at the end, both techniques say, do not do anything in this moment. Because the more you try to do against it, then it's like little devils jumping up. The more you try to fight it, the stronger it fights back. A pattern is really strong. It fights back. It gets worse. So that I know from my own experience, I can tell you it gets worse. But if you just stay out, it gets easier and easier. Even when it happened again, have mercy with yourself and a little smile towards yourself and say, there we go again. And if you can do that together with your partner and say, hey, there we go again, then the next step, what we learned as tantrics, is okay, first everybody cleans himself, but we are still, the energy is still moving, and then just come together and hold each other and breathe together, slowly, profoundly, just breathe. And that melts even the last rest, because in this moment, the signal I give myself and my partner is, hey, what we want together is peace, an adventurous peace, an alive peace. It's not avoiding conflict, but hey, it's also not the conflict we want to dance with all the time. What we want to dance with is a very alive harmony, like dancing a beautiful tango or salsa, or contact dance is also something great for couples. And not only for couples. So that is how to create this sort of harmonious peace. Again, now it is how can I do that I don't have to suppress, no? The thing is, there is a saying, when you are enlightened, go to your parents. Now that is, and see what happens. So that is around like finishing this part, what I just explained. Yes, the closer a person is, so the more difficult it is to step out of all patterns, and the more exciting is if you do this way of consciousness together. And then it really becomes interesting and beautiful, and it creates intimacy to know, wow, somehow you press something on an old wound. And maybe then to start not to discuss about we are discussing, about the themes which always bring us up, and we start to even have the same arguments all the time. But to ask, Olga, if you look deeper, what is it really what hurts you if this theme comes up? No, what is hurting me or you? So then intimacy starts. Because then I can look into myself and say, yeah, what makes me so hurt, that I feel so vulnerable at this point. So what's happening inside me if you say this or that? And then the next thing is to connect with your inner witness. What is a theme, a lifelong theme, that I can be totally in life. I don't avoid life. I don't avoid my feelings. But at the same time, I'm connected with my inner witness, that I can be relaxed looking upon my life, even if I'm angry, even if I'm depressed, even if things don't work out, even if I don't treat myself very lovingly, even if others don't do what I think would have to be done, even in this situation with the climate going, is it going, or is it again a big propaganda after COVID? Now comes climate. Yes, are changes, but can we change anything with fear? Okay, so that's another very interesting theme, is the fear. Know how I can be witnessing myself in fear. Look what it is happening outside with me, and then how to step out of that. There is another great theme, and maybe from another podcast, how as a tantric yogic or yogini do I have to trade death? So maybe next podcast we talk about that, because fear has a lot to do with the fear of death, and which gets many, many different forms. And the witness, one beautiful little technique which I would like to share is just smile a lot in your life and always hold your inner smile. Bring it up even when you're angry. Just make a little stop and say, okay, I'm on. Wow. And then remember a smile behind your eyes. I'm holding a smile behind my eyes. And this little smile, this idea of the smile behind my eyes, connects me with my inner witness, so that I can be fully involved in whatever has to be there and has to be felt. And at the same time, hey, I can connect with this benevolent compassion my soul self or my witness has with me, this part of me which was never born and will never die, this part of the divine spark inside of me, who always looks at me with this benevolent compassion. Hey, yes, there you are in a real challenge in this moment. Wow. But its voice is not very loud. But with this inner smile, we can always connect. And if sometimes the day you just remember this, just sit a moment somewhere and really actively train to activate this inner smile, it makes a big difference. And the Buddhas are all smiling. Durga on her tiger is fighting smiling. So it is not that they look nicer for us and more harmless. Niedlich, we say in German. No, it's a powerful technique to hold this smile. Aho. Have a beautiful day. It was really great to share with you today. Thank you for listening to our podcast. It was really great to share with you. I enjoyed it. And I would totally appreciate if you write us questions, insights, your wishes. You become co-creator of the next episodes. You find us on the www.durgastigerschool.com and in our Instagram. So have a great day.